Okay, so let's jump right in. We've all heard it, right? For literally thousands of years, there's been this one core belief. When things go bad, gold is your ultimate safe haven. It's supposed to be the one thing you can count on when everything else is falling apart. But is that actually true anymore?
I mean, this idea is practically baked into our culture. You know the story. Governments fail, paper money becomes worthless, but that shiny yellow metal, that's the one thing that will always endure. It's a really powerful story for sure.
But here's where we need to push back a little, because that's the real question, isn't it? We're not talking about your average stock market dip here. I mean a real, honest-to-goodness collapse. Think global blackout, total breakdown of society, that kind of thing. Does your gold still save you then? Well, the answer gets a whole lot more complicated.
See, to really get to the bottom of this, you gotta understand something crucial. Not all disasters are created equal. The usefulness of gold, it changes, like dramatically depending on the specific flavor of apocalypse we're talking about. So let's break down a few different scenarios.
Okay, take a look at this. This is where things get really interesting. In a straight-up currency collapse, think Weimar Germany, where the money's worthless, but, society's still kinda holding on, gold is absolutely king. It's your best friend for preserving wealth. But what about a digital blackout? Suddenly, all your digital gold, your ETFs, poof, they're gone. Only that physical stuff in your hand has any value. And then you get to the big one, total anarchy, a real Mad Max world. All of a sudden, gold's usefulness just tanks. And why is that? Pretty simple, really. You can't eat it.
And that brings us to let's call them the fatal flaws. These are the real, nitty-gritty problems with gold that, frankly, most preppers and gold bugs don't really want to talk about when they're imagining the end of the world. All right, so just imagine this for a second. The world's gone sideways, and all you need is a loaf of bread. You've got your 1-ounce gold coin, right? Worth what, a couple $1,000 today? How exactly do you pay for that bread? Are you gonna ask the baker for $1,900 in change? You can't just slice a little piece off. It's a huge, huge problem for just daily life.
And here's the next big one. And it's kind of chilling when you think about it. In a world with no rules and no police, walking around with the most famous symbol of wealth on the planet, you might as well just paint a giant bullseye on your back. Showing off your gold isn't making you look rich, it's making you look like a victim. It's basically an open invitation for someone to take it from you.
This all boils down to one simple fact. Something is only worth what someone is willing to give you for it. And in a real life or death situation, the person with a can of beans or some antibiotics, they have something way more valuable than you do. Why on earth would they trade their actual survival for your shiny little rock? They probably wouldn't. And in that instant, your gold becomes, well, basically worthless.
This is actually where silver comes into the picture. For all those little day-to-day trades, silver is just so much more practical. It's worth less, comes in smaller pieces, perfect for buying some food without screaming, "I'm rich," to everyone around you. It's a great way to think about it. Silver is your crisis checking account, while gold, that's your long-term savings vault.
Okay, so if gold is so bad for buying bread and staying safe, then what is it good for? I mean, what's the point? Well, this is where history gives us a really fascinating clue. It turns out gold isn't for surviving in the chaos, it's for getting out. And to really get this, we're gonna look at a specific moment. Vietnam, 1975. Saigon is falling. The government is gone. The money is totally worthless, and people are desperate to escape. So what did they use to get out? It wasn't paper money, I can tell you that. It was gold. And this is the key idea, right here. Gold isn't for buying groceries. It's your exit ticket. It's the thing you use to bribe a border guard, to pay a smuggler, to buy a seat on a boat, to literally anywhere else that's safe. It's not for survival, it's for escape. We see this exact same pattern play out over and over in history. You have the boat people in Vietnam using tiny pieces of gold to buy their freedom. Go back to World War II, people used it to bribe their way across borders in Europe. The reason it works is simple. Gold is recognized everywhere. It has value anywhere in the world, even when your country's money is just useless paper. Yeah, this line just nails it. Gold wasn't for buying food, it was for buying freedom. You're not using it to live through the bad times where you are, you're using it to leave the bad times behind and start over somewhere new. So, okay, that's the theory. But how do we make this practical? What does this mean for you and me? Well, it means we have to completely rethink how we look at our assets. We need a new plan, kind of like a pyramid of survival needs. Let's break down this hierarchy.
Look, Tier 1, the absolute foundation, is just plain survival. This is the stuff you can't live without. Food, water, medicine, skills. If you don't have this, nothing else even matters. Okay, once that's covered, you move to Tier 2, barter. This is for that little economy that's gonna pop up. Think silver coins, batteries, booze, things people will actually want to trade for day to day. And then, only at the very top, after all that other stuff is sorted, do you get to Tier 3, wealth. And that is where your physical gold lives. Its job is to protect your real wealth through the crisis so you have something on the other side. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. You have to see gold for what it truly is. It is not your survival insurance. Your food and your water, that's your survival insurance. Gold is your wealth insurance. It's the policy that makes sure if you get through the chaos, you don't have to start completely from scratch.
So what are the actionable steps here? First, forget about digital gold. ETFs, crypto gold. If the internet goes down, it's all just ones and zeros. You need physical, hold it in your hand gold. And don't go for giant bars. Think small coins, small grams, things you could actually use. Store it somewhere nobody would ever think to look. And maybe the most important rule of all, don't tell a single soul that you have it.
And all of this really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. Most of us spend our entire lives building a portfolio designed for profit, for growth, for a world that's, well, stable. But have you ever stopped to ask if that same portfolio is built for something much more basic? Is it built for survival?